I'm not investigating this case because I don't work with detectives that solicit lies.
Hey yo, what up though, Flesh Fam? The God Shango here, back with another update. So, this is a wild situation. Remember Melly's ex-girlfriend was missing from the entire first trial? Detectives were looking all over for her, saying she was hiding information about the double Melly murders. Well, her lawyer is here saying she ain't done nothing wrong. But get this, she was just arrested this past Sunday trying to come back into the U.S. So she wasn't running, ducking, or hiding from the law. She was actually out in El Salvador celebrating her 24th birthday. She lands in Miami on the way back. Of course, she has to go through customs. They run her name, comes back wanted. So the Miami PD gets a call. But what about the lawyer? I don't know. It seemed like the story ain't really adding up. So let's break it down, family.
I met him, I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. I met him through mutual friends. It was my homecoming night. He had just got out of a program. He had just got out of a program. You guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted. I've tried to get the warrant lifted plenty of times. But it's just been like a constant battle with my lawyer and the prosecutor. So I've just been, laying low, trying to get the warrant lifted before I could even come in and, speak my part.
Damon was in federal court this month claiming his constitutional rights are being violated while in custody at the Broward County Jail. Attorneys are pushing for a judge to have him released until his retrial in September.
He's just he's different. Like, he's a very outspoken person. Like, he doesn't mean no harm, but he's really different. Like, he's always lightening up the room, like, regardless. Like, if he's even going through something, nobody would tell because he don't show it. Like, he shows it differently.
It was good seeing him today. Hopefully I'll be able to get a phone call or a visitation really soon.
Rapper YNW MELLY's ex-girlfriend is in the Broward County Jail. Federal agents arrested her at Miami International Airport on Monday.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now.
Where you filed a complaint against the lead investigator in YNW MELLY's trial, Mark Moretti, and you basically accused him of bullying you and harassing you into providing testimony in this case. What can you tell us about that?
When the situation first happened, me and my mom was I was threatened. I was 17, about to turn 18. They came to my house. They were telling me that they were going to arrest me with accessory after the fact. My mom didn't know what to do. I was young. I didn't have a criminal record. I didn't have a background. I was trying to go to the military at the time, so I had to just tell them what they wanted to hear so they could, leave me alone, which I thought they would leave me alone, but they didn't. So, because I was his girlfriend at the time, so they thought that I knew more than what I was telling them that I knew, which I didn't. So they were just harassing me, being that I was his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time. So,
when you say Mark Moretti was harassing you, what was he saying to you? What was he doing?
When he first came to my house, it was so unexpectedly. I had pulled up with my cousin, and they were outside my house, parked. And I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, what's going on? Or whatever. I'm asking her what's going on. She's like, they want to talk to you. You have to talk to them. They're threatening, saying that you're going to go to jail. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I ended up telling him my story. I told him what I knew. He told me that I was lying. He told me that I knew more than what I was telling, and that he was going to, he could arrest me for accessory after the fact. So we ended up he wanted me to get on a tape recording and tell him what he wanted me to tell him, so which I did. After that, he was like, they wouldn't bother me anymore. I thought they wouldn't bother me anymore. They were still calling and texting my mom, asking for me. I refused to talk so many times. And yeah, I haven't really talked to them ever since then, since 2019.
And now you said that there's an arrest warrant, it's still out, it's still outstanding. Why do you feel comfortable coming out now and talking about this?
Because I just want people to know that I'm not running because of any money or anything like that. It's because I don't want to go to jail for something that I did. I don't want to go to jail for something that I didn't do or something that I'm not a part of.
The prosecutor had, indicated to me at one time that there was a warrant. Other law enforcement had indicated to me that there was no warrant that they could find in the warrant system when they checked. So we did talk about that. I did not think it would be a good idea to travel internationally, because what happens is when you return to the United States, immigration, U.S. immigration that is, will check the manifest of an airline for every passenger to determine if there's any warrants or any other holds on them. And I couldn't say either way whether there was a warrant. So my advice was not to travel at all. Yeah.
This Jamal Damon case is getting deeper and deeper. Court records are showing some wild stuff. Apparently, Mariah Hamilton was ordered to testify in Damon's first trial back in 2023. Yet a judge actually signed an order back in 2020 saying Mariah Hamilton is a material witness in the trial of Jamal Damon upon the charge of first-degree murder. Basically, they saying they really needed her testimony. It's one of the most important parts of the case and cannot be obtained from any other available witness. So Hamilton pulled a no-call, no-show on the first trial. I guess she just didn't appear. So what's going on here? Guess we gotta dig a little bit deeper.
Okay. First, we're using the term warrant. My understanding that this is a writ of bodily attachment which is civil in nature. I'm not sure at all what she failed to do. It's not clear because I haven't been presented with this warrant. I haven't seen it, although I've asked for it a number of times. I haven't seen any of the supporting documents for it. What I mean by that is when a police officer wants to obtain a warrant, they go in front of a judge with an affidavit claiming probable cause for, in this case, we're talking about an arrest, for someone's arrest. And they normally also present some supporting evidence for that affidavit. I have yet to see any of this. So, if what the prosecutor is saying, Ms. Hamilton had a court date and she failed to appear, well then, please show me the subpoena that she was issued to appear for that court date.
So the prosecutors claim, for those who don't know, Melly was charged with first-degree murder for the 2018 shooting deaths of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. Kelly and his other friend, Courtney Henry, aka Portland, who were both riding an SUV with Christopher and Anthony at the time of the murders and allegedly staged the shooting as a drive-by. Melly's been in jail this whole time, even after the mistrial.
That your inquiry form, it indicates that after further discussions, reviewing evidence, speaking freely amongst the jury, you're still unable to reach a unanimous decision. So at this time, what I'm going to do is just declare this trial as mistrial.
Okay, so we know the mistrial happened back in 2023. Now we're here in 2025, and Melly is about to go through it all over again. Another trial for the double murders of Christopher and Anthony. But today's show is about Mariah and the roller coaster she's experienced regarding her involvement in this case, or lack thereof. So think about it. When the shooting happened, she was just 17 years old. Now she's 24? And she's not even with Melly anymore. Hasn't been for a long time, actually. So where does that leave her in all of this? Well, prosecutors have been all over. It seems they trying to push her hard to spill the beans on everything she know about what happened back in 2018. And get this, her mom Felicia even ended up taking a stand during Melly's first trial. So let's tap into what happened with that.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Not good.
Are you cold?
No, I'm just, I don't feel comfortable.
Are you nervous?
I feel threatened.
Let me ask you, did your daughter tell you, did you have a conversation with your daughter about what happened on October 26th of 2018?
Yes, I asked her if she knew anything about that.
Did she tell you what happened? Without? No, she did not. Have you ever made a statement that is different than that?
Your Honor, we'd object to the lack of foundation, calls for hearsay, speculation, unless they can establish that that witness was present.
Thank you. The objection noted. That's what I previously ruled on sidebar. Proceed.
Ms. Holmes, is it your testimony you don't remember why you came down?
I told you why I came down.
Okay, why is that?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
Ms. Holmes, have you ever let me rephrase. Ms. Holmes, did your daughter ever threaten to cooperate with law enforcement?
Objection.
Sustained.
Ms. Holmes, did you threaten to cooperate with law enforcement?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Different question.
Why don't you come sidebar?
I just want people to know that I'm not running because of like any money or anything like that. It's because I don't want to go to jail for something that I did. I don't want to go to jail for something that I didn't do or something that I'm not a part of. I just feel like people's looking at my side of this. They're looking at me wrong, and that's not what they're showing is not true. Basically, I hope the judge can lift the warrant off me, and I don't mind coming in to talk. I never mind coming in to talk. Me and my lawyer tried to go in to talk on so many occasions, but I was always threatened with, if I don't tell them what I want to hear, what they want to hear, I'm gonna go to jail. So it's like, I never went to jail before, so that's my main concern right now.
Well, 902.15 contemplates something happening in the future. They're talking about her being a material witness in the trial that's going to take place in the future. There's nothing to do with this thing.
I understand, Judge, but all they have to do is serve her with a proper subpoena right now. She is obligated then to appear or suffer the consequences for failure to appear. That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking just release.
I think they already tried it.
Well, no, they didn't. Why do you think that, Judge? Because I don't see that they did try it that way.
Well, I don't know. This is the first time law enforcement agencies called me on a Sunday at my house. They tell me that someone's at an international airport with an outstanding material witness warrant on them, and asked me what I would like them to do about it. And I answered that I don't know anything about it, so I don't know what it is they would like them to do about it. I didn't come to work in this building every day for a long time. I've never seen this before.
So in late 2023, Broward Sheriff's detectives charged Damon and his alleged accomplice in the murders, Cortland Henry, with witness tampering. Prosecutors are saying these two actually arranged to have a key witness not testify. Yo, that's wild, family. Here, his ex-girlfriend is fighting for a chance to go home as she's being arrested, and the lawyer is fighting to keep her off house arrest and simply give her a summons to come to court instead of house arrest. But we know how that's gonna go.
The issue is not, whether Ms. Hamilton knew that the police or the prosecutors wanted to talk with her. Those are different issues. We're talking about legal obligation, not maybe a moral obligation or some other obligation. My answer to the question is no. She had no legal obligation to appear. Defense has evidence that she was not served. And I hope the court understands that I was not Ms. Hamilton's attorney when I believe the former prosecutor filed a motion for an order to show cause. I wasn't the attorney back then, so I don't know the events that happened back then. I'm not even sure. I haven't seen a show cause order issued by the court.
I don't think there is.
Well, that's another problem, sir, I have.
I don't think she's ever been held in direct and indirect criminal contempt. She's in custody for 942.03. The procedure for securing a witness and coming from outside of the state.
Well, and I'm not sure. I did see that document. It's the most curious document I have ever seen. A witness coming from outside of the state? What? And there's a constitutional issue with that writ or warrant or whatever we call it. No notice, no opportunity to be heard. I don't have any facts that have been, I should say, the state has not presented me any facts that she was ever out of the state. Also, that document, if it is a proper writ or warrant, is stale. That document addresses a trial that happened in 2022, and I believe, I don't have it in front of me, I believe it orders that Ms. Hamilton be arrested and detained for no longer than 60 days during the period or pendency of that trial back in 2022. So it's a stale warrant to begin with. I don't see any legal basis for her to have been arrested or to remain in custody. And in my initial motion, the emergency motion I filed, I did ask ultimately for an ROR. I don't think that's appropriate. I think the court must release her, no conditions. I mean, if the state feels that she's a material witness, I suppose they can serve her with a proper subpoena right now in court or before she leaves custody. I do have evidence. I can give the court evidence, but I believe it's really the state's burden to show that there was a valid subpoena served upon Ms. Hamilton as a basis for this arrest.
Well, listen, I agree with you. That's not going to be.
Well, thank you, Judge.
Yeah. What we're doing going forward here, again, so the record's clear, I'm only proceeding under 902.15. When a defendant fails to answer on a charge for a current punishment like that or life imprisonment, that's Mr. Denton's case. Right. The trial court judge at a preliminary hearing, that's what we're doing right now, may require each material witness to enter into a written recognizance to appear at the trial or forfeit a sum fixed by the trial court judge. Additional security may be required at the discretion of the trial court judge. The state's telling me that she is material, that they do intend for her to appear. So I'm probably inclined to follow the state's recommendations we did with the other similarly situated witness, which is ROR her, put on pre-trial with an electronic monitor obeying the cost of the monitor. We don't give a chance to do it if she's served either by the state or by the defense, by any party. She just has to answer the same, just like anybody else. The rules apply to her the same as everybody else. I agree. I don't think there's any legal basis to hold her in custody at this point, unless someone shows me something different. But I couldn't find anywhere in the court record where Judge Siegel or Judge Murphy or any judge found her indirectly written in contempt. This was merely a question of not cooperative material witness.
That's correct, Your Honor. And just to be clear, this was all taken up with all the documents that these motions are asking for. Her counsel, if it was previous counsel, they had all this because it's all in the appellate record. You can pull it all up with the subpoenas and testimony by the state's investigator, transcripts, all of that is there that discusses what efforts were taken. And Judge Siegel had that hearing, ruled in favor of the state, it was taken up, and it was denied on the merits.
Right. But I mean, at this point, do you have any objection to me proceeding as I was articulating?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any objection?
Yes, I do. I think the state created this whole problem, and I don't think they should benefit or be punishing Ms. Hamilton by requiring a monitor or any kind of restriction on her freedom. The reason I say that, notwithstanding any appeal that was decided in favor of the state, there was a lie told. There was false information regarding the subpoena that was purportedly validly served upon Ms. Hamilton. And I don't think there's a basis or it seems quite unfair to be punishing her by restricting her freedom for something that we haven't even looked at in this hearing.
So the goal of the defense is to impeach or destroy the credibility of Detective Mark Moretti, the lead investigator of the case, which ultimately resulted in the Broward County prosecutor being a defense witness in a double murder retrial. So the defense is on its head right now. So apparently, Mark Moretti met with Melly's mom, Jamie King, back in October of 2022. He was there to press her about the alleged witness tampering, and while he was there, he decided to execute that search warrant and seize her phone. But it was at this moment they knew they f***ed up. Let's check out what the prosecutor had to say about what the detective said.
Detective Moretti said to Deputy Morrell, "You need to say you were here when I served that search warrant." And it was kind of like an awkward moment. Someone described it as kind of getting punched twice in the head. So there's a search warrant that gets served, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing, he's asking this deputy to lie for him. And again, I'm like this is like, I'm in the twilight, so I'm like, this can't really be happening. Deputy Gorell didn't say anything of any substance. I think he said, "Is there anything I'm needed for anymore?" or something like that. I don't remember if he said anything at all. It was just a very awkward moment.
Did you say anything for the record?
No, I don't say anything to Moretti. I leave the room, I'm done with the statement. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done investigating this case.
Why?
Because I don't work with detectives that solicit lies.
Is that true that Detective already said to you that what he said was a joke?
No, what was intended to be conveyed was that Deputy Gorell, his response was flippant in nature. That was the joking aspect of it.
Okay, so if somebody from your office sends out a Brady notice in this case, not authorized by you, correct?
That is correct.
And in that Brady notice that I just showed you, you're saying that there are incorrect statements of fact in it.
That is correct.
And the incorrect statement is that you were not told by Moretti that he was joking.
That is correct. The indication has always been, and if it was inartfully conveyed in some point, the indication has always been that Deputy Gorell responded in a very flippant manner when asked about showing up.
Flippant manner?
To Detective Moretti.
Does he say that in his report, Gorell?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so the flippant matter came from Moretti, and somehow you communicated that Moretti said it was a joke. Is that what we're putting together?
I did not say that Moretti said that he had made a joke in any way, shape, or form.
So you've never made a statement that Moretti said he was joking?
My statement was, at all times, and if it was ever not clear or misinterpreted by whoever was listening to it, was that Deputy Gorell made the statement that was of a flippant nature.
On August 30th, 2022, Christine Bradley filed a Brady notice which requires prosecutors to disclose material and exculpatory information to the defense. But as Michelle Boudreaux testified, the notice made no mention of her statement that Detective Moretti instructed the deputy to lie about being present. It wasn't until nearly a year later in September 2023, months after Judge Murphy declared a mistrial in Melly's first trial, Michelle Boudreaux says she noticed no Brady notice was ever filed and brought it to the attention of the state attorney's office.
We believe that we would have testimony that they were instructing Ms. Bradley to file a Brady notice, and this goes back as early as basically in October, November, whenever that was, of 2022. The testimony will show that after they did that, pretty much everybody put their head in the sand. They did not check into things. She went through a whole trial. She sat through the trial. Nothing was mentioned about Brady. We find it hard to believe that nobody would have asked her, even after the hung jury, well, how did you handle that Brady issue? That Ms. Bradley refused to sign the Brady notice that was prepared by the supervisors in the office, and she refused to sign it. In fact, it was handed to her by her secretary, and she said, I'm not signing this, and that's why Mr. Killeran from Public Corruptions had to sign that Brady notice.
Nor have I, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never seen this before.
She does qualify under 902.15. So listen, at this point, it will be over your objection. I'm not foreclosing you. You want to follow the appropriate written motion. I'll give you the opportunity to have a hearing, and have an entry here. You can present anything and everything to me that you would like. I'll give the state the same opportunity to present whatever evidence, witnesses, and testimony they want. And it could be that I might agree with you and decide that we're going to monitor is a unreasonable condition. But at this point, over your objection, I'm going to follow the state's recommendation. I'm going to borrow Ms. Hamilton, since she's not in custody, but she's going to have to sign up for pretrial. They're going to have to verify her address, and then they're going to put her on an electronic monitor. That's the only restriction. I'm not putting any other restrictions on it, because she's not charged with any independent crime. But if she's served with a subpoena, again, by any party, she just has to answer the subpoena, just like any other witness. What makes it unique here is that 902.15 allows this procedure only in a case of punishment by life or the death penalty, and that happens to be the case that we're involved with. I'm going to follow what the statute says. So, Ms. Wilcox, it's an ROR, standard pretrial with an open schedule. There are no other special conditions except that just to check in with pretrial that they might require. I will waive the cost of the electronic monitor. I'll public record right now. What city do you live in?
Vieira, Florida.
Vieira, Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Her name is Mariah Hamilton.
Judge, does Ms. Hamilton, she's free then at this point?
Well, I think the SOS process her out. Someone from pretrial is going to have to come talk to her to get all of her information. They have to verify her address. Is it a house or an apartment?
A house.
Does someone else live there besides you?
Yes.
Someone that can verify the address there?
I will provide that.
Okay, so as soon as they talk to her dad and they verify the address, they're going to put the ankle monitor and she'll be released.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so Mr. Damon has his future dates for all pending motions as well as the trial. Ms. Hamilton has no future dates in front of me. That's elected until counsel files whatever you want to file, and I'll give her an evidentiary hearing. Okay, Ms. Wilcox, does that conclude the fee for this afternoon? Okay. the division keys, otherwise we're going to need a recess until
And so she is put on house arrest and able to go home. So she is smiling, but
from the ashes he arose. Never hate a friend of foes. Just a subtle art and not giving a fuck. Chasing down my goals. I self-law am master. Supernatural disaster. Metaphysical reaction. I am the flesh. I am the God. No one got the lab on lockdown. Talking hot winters and cold summers. Black Force Ones when we slide in the streets. We all stay home at a club jumping. What up, cousin? I see you, fam. Throwing slime corners when I watch the trial. LEOs be capping. Chatting action. Come and tap in the most interactive. I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God.
Lost never leg gon' tap in. Gun flesh skin every rap in. If you like us, gon' get the lights up. You can sub, you can share, tell them pack in. From the left, right, front to the passenger side. It's right here, the premiere. How you know? Cause them boys broadcast to the live. Wanna talk about it, hit the link right here. Slide coins up, got 100 bands. Mars eyes, watch how the check. And the band made love do a bobblehead. 2 bands do a dance like check. I'ma keep going till I'm motherfucking tired. You what? I'm motherfucking tired. Sliding real side, could we rain down game? Like, what you mean? Just watch the rise. Watch the rise. Watch the rise.
I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God.
Flesh with God.
I am the flesh.